And Storm Lilian brings high winds and some travel disruption in parts of the UK ahead of the bank holiday weekend.
Thousands of homes and properties are without power across the northwest of England as Storm Lilian hit parts of the UK. Strong winds have pulled down trees, with gusts of up to 80 miles an hour expected at times. The Met Office has warned there may be disruption to travel and damage to buildings.
Now, Storm Lilian has been battering parts of the UK today ahead of the bank holiday weekend. High winds and rain have swept across northern England, southern Scotland and Wales, bringing travel disruption, flooding and power cuts. Train services in northern England are affected and 14 flights have been cancelled at Heathrow Airport. Drivers have been warned of poor conditions on the roads. This is a lorry that was buffeted in high winds on the Humber Bridge near Hull early this morning. And a short time later, the route was closed to high-sided vehicles. And the organisers of the Leeds Festival have delayed today's opening time, and two stages won't be hosting performances. Because of the severe weather, a tent was seen spinning through the air as strong winds swept through the campsite. And the first day of the Bolton Food Festival was cancelled after the storm damaged stalls and knocked over most of the tents. Right.
Hello there. Storm Lilian will dominate the first half of Friday, but it's moving at quite a pace, and so by lunchtime, the worst of the weather will have cleared away. However, before then, a spell of heavy rain, but more importantly, some gales, unseasonably strong winds for this time of year, and still many people on holiday. The strongest of the winds likely to be to the Scottish borders, down into North Wales and the North Midlands. A zone of winds gusting widely 50, 60 mile an hour, maybe even stronger in one or two places, up to 75 miles an hour.
But I think we've got our own issues this morning. Weather-wise, Storm Lilian is with us. Already we've got winds gusting 50 to 70 miles an hour quite widely across Wales. Those winds really picking up over the next couple of hours across England and Wales especially. This is when we see the greatest chance of disruption. Rush hour especially, but through the morning even into some eastern parts of England. Some rain across Scotland, and yes, be prepared, there could be some disruption and some damage around as well. Let me show you where the peak winds will be, especially during the morning rush hour. North Wales and across much of northern England, southern parts of Dumfries and Galloway. There is a chance one or two spots could see as much as 80 mile an hour in terms of wind strength. And with the M6, also the A1, crosswinds here, that could lead to a few issues as well. So if you're towing or a high-sided vehicle driving this morning, there may be a good chance to just delay your journey until later. Let's just take a look at some of the wind gusts we have got so far. This is in the last half an hour.
I feel like it's grim right now, especially windy, and then looking ahead,
Get better.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of sunshine and warmth at the end of this forecast. Got to get through today, first of all, but even today, it's a getting better kind of day. Let me take you through the details. Good morning. Storm Lilian is with us at the moment, whipping up some pretty rough conditions here on the coast at Wallasey in the Wirral, taken by one of our weather watchers, Kentavaris Way. This is a view just a short while ago, just outside Brighton. It's not looking fantastic out there for the lead up to an August bank holiday weekend. We've got Storm Lilian with us. I've got some good news to start with. Let's start with the good news, shall we? Because it looks a little bit autumnal out there. It feels like summer has deserted us. Very good morning to you. This is the view just a short while ago in eastern Aberdeenshire. Lots of heavy rain so far this morning. Strong winds across England and Wales. But if I take you to the centre part of the UK, let's say Sheffield, for next week, summer will make a reappearance. We could see temperatures climb in the low to mid-20s for many, maybe even high 20s, low 30s for one or two in the south and east. So it's a little teaser for next week, but not quite in time for the bank holiday weekend. And out there this morning, we still have Storm Lilian with us, but there will still be some ongoing disruption for at least a little bit. So if we go to see what's happening then over the next day, we seem to have gone right back to the start. Don't know how I managed to do that. Travel has been affected by the strong wind. You heard about Storm Lilian there, taking out power. It's an improving story, though. Storm Lilian, a short-lived feature for us. Very good morning to you. It has, of course, caused some damage and disruption. Large branch here down in Settle in North Yorkshire.
Look at the weather forecast for the rest of the bank holiday weekend. Ben, let's hope it's going to improve.
It is going to improve a bit, Ben. Let's look back at Storm Lilian briefly because, as you said, it was northern England and North Wales that bore the brunt with those wind gusts around or just above 70 miles per hour. But the storm is now long gone. Hi, Ben. Thank you. Storm Lilian is now moving away, having caused some significant problems. The weekend looks a little bit calmer, but still rather windy, just not as windy as it has been.
Hello, good evening. As the bank holiday weekend approaches, I'm afraid so does a weather system. It is a wet old start to the weekend with a rain warning in force for some of us, but it does improve. It turns drier, it turns a bit brighter, though it is still a bit on the breezy side.
Good evening to you. Well, Storm Lilian did give quite a punch this morning, moved through quite quickly and left a pretty decent afternoon for many. There were lots of showers across northern and western areas. Now,
And let's just say that this bank holiday weekend is going to be mixed from a weather point of view. I'll have all the details in just a couple of minutes.
Now, Becky, we all want some bank holiday sunshine. Are we going to get it?
I know you do. I know you do. Everyone wants it, particularly after the last 12 or so hours. The pressure is on. There's no more pressure than at the beginning of a bank holiday or any time in the run-up to Christmas, when snow is the only question. But snow is definitely not what we're getting this weekend. However, I'm afraid we are going to be having a slightly mixed fortune over the bank holiday weekend. But before then, before I give you the not-so-good news, I'm going to try and win friends and influence people by giving you some good news for next week. Let me show you what's going on. Now, this obviously is a temperature map of what's going on. And at the moment, we've got westerly winds, so that's giving us a slightly cooler picture. And then if we run the sequence, if everything actually decides to work, there it goes, you can see that things get a little bit cooler as we look over the weekend itself. So quite a cool weekend to come. Still those mostly westerly winds. But then we start tapping into something quite warm from the near continent. So by the time we run into Tuesday, whoop, look at that, we start to get that plunge of southerly winds, and that's going to start dragging those warmer conditions in. This is a roundabout way of saying, try and forget about the next few days, which are not looking so good, because by the time we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we might be getting temperatures hopefully really starting to pick up once again, maybe even to the high 20s, into the low 30s for our last blast of summer. For many, of course, it's the last week of the summer holidays, and it's definitely the last week of meteorological summer. So I reckon we're going to go out with a bang. Let's have a look now at the not-so-good weekend. So I think the not-so-good news is always best delivered with a bit of a smile, and that's definitely what we're going to be having over the next couple of days, because bank holiday weekend, we've got heavy rain in the south through tomorrow morning, sunshine and blustery showers through Sunday, and then for Monday it's kind of even Stevens. So in the north it's better tomorrow, in the south it's better on Sunday, and then, as I say, evens itself out on Monday, and that's basically the forecast. I'm trying really hard to distract everyone from the disappointing conditions. But there we go, that's what it is.
Oh, thank you, Becky.